Coming up on this week's Gadget Show Web TV, John's still in 3D mode with the W3 camera from Fuji. I rummaged through Web TV's archives to find my favourite moments, and I bring you this week's best tech news. Hello and welcome to a very special edition of the Gadget Show Web TV, because today it's our 100th episode. Yes, that's right, for nearly 2 years we've been bringing you news, features and reviews on some of the latest and greatest tech around, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So to keep things rolling, John's been out again with another 3D camera. This time it's the W3 from Fuji. It shoots 3D movies as well as pics, but will it persuade you to delve into the 3D market? I know there's only one man with the answer.
It's now a year since Fuji launched their first 3D consumer camera, the W1, and they've launched another one, the W3. It's smaller, cheaper at just under £400. It's got an improved 3.5-inch LCD 3D screen, and it now shoots 720p HD video. The principle of the new camera, though, is basically the same as the old. There are two separate lenses, slightly further apart than most human eyes, which focus on two separate 10-megapixel sensors. And the camera does the job of combining the two images to create the 3D effect. I'm going to start by shooting some video of the river here and the rather splendid bridge. Shooting the video is pretty straightforward, though I think you have to be pretty careful on your choice of subject. Anything too close to the camera in the foreground will tend to fall apart. You get a sort of double imaging, you don't get a proper 3D effect. Anything too far away just looks too flat. So you're looking for subjects with quite a bit of middle ground depth. Another problem is that the 3D perspective is set at the start of the shot, so you have to keep a fairly constant distance from your subject. You can't pan from something in the foreground to something in the distance, for example. Also, you can't zoom in during the shot either. You can shoot 3D stills as well, of course, although you've got to remember the camera isn't quite as versatile as a top-of-the-range 2D stills camera. It's only got a 3x zoom, for example. What you do get, though, is some advanced 3D effects. You can take two shots and the camera will do its best to try and combine them into a 3D image. There are also some advanced 2D effects where Fuji have used the fact that the camera has two separate lenses to take two simultaneous photographs at different settings. For example, you can take a wide angle and a telephoto picture at the same time. You can take pictures using different colour settings, one in colour, one in black and white, or one with rich colours, one in standard colours. You can also change the sensitivity for two shots, so you can get one at a faster shutter speed than another. For example, you get a slightly blurred panning shot with a car as well as one which freezes the motion. You can, of course, view your shots on the 3D screen on the back of the camera, and I think the W3's is usefully improved over the W1. It's much easier to get into the right position to see the 3D effect, for example. But what I really want to do is see my shots on a 3D TV. So, playback time, and here's the W3 hooked up to a 3D TV via HDMI, and these stills are actually very good indeed. I mean, this one here, you really do get the atmosphere of a late summer afternoon, the slight haze over the church tower, the birds standing out in the foreground caught in mid-flight. It does actually give you a real sense as though you're there. You could see that 3D effect adding greatly to your holiday photos. It's not all good news though. The video is actually a little bit disappointing. It doesn't look like 720p. There doesn't seem to be that level of definition. The motion also looks a bit juddery, and I think it could do with some image stabilization. That's not to say it doesn't justify its place though. I think if you've just bought a new 3D TV and you feel a bit frustrated perhaps by the lack of content, certainly in terms of movies thus far, I think you might do what a lot of people did when they first bought HD TVs and go out and buy an HD camcorder, because the W3 does show stills very well indeed, and it certainly will add an extra dimension to your photos.
Right, time for the news, and continuing with the camera theme, Panasonic has just announced a new addition to its G-series camera range, the Panasonic GH2. It's the successor to the GH1 camera and comes in a slightly smaller case with touchscreen shooting. The sensor on the camera has been improved and now offers 16.1 megapixels, which is 4 megapixels more than the GH1. It will also come with the option of a new 3D lens, which will turn the GH2 into a three-dimensional camera, just like the W3 or Sony's WX5. It also has some impressive shooting specs, including 1080i at 24 frames per second, which will make your home movies a little bit more cinema-esque and bump up the quality. They've also introduced the world's fastest light-speed autofocus, which only takes an amazing 0.1 of a second to capture an image. The GH2 is due for release in December, but prices are still to be announced. Next up, Microsoft's Zune Music and Movie Store will arrive in the UK this autumn, meaning we can get access to the Zune software, Zune Marketplace online store and the Zune Pass Music subscription service, which costs just $8.99 a month for unlimited downloads and streaming, making it a strong rival to the already established Spotify. For video, Microsoft is taking the existing Xbox Live offering and transferring it to Windows PCs, which can then be synced to Windows Phone 7. They will have content from Universal Music Group, Sony Music Entertainment, EMI Music and Warner Music Group, as well as movies from NBC Universal, Paramount, Warner Brothers and others, making the service highly content-rich. And finally, an Apple iPad featuring FaceTime video calling is apparently due for release early next year, according to reports from Apple suppliers in Asia. They claim that the updated iPad will be released at some point during the second quarter of 2011, meaning that we could see iPad version 2 at some point in the spring featuring FaceTime calling compatibility. But if you can't wait for iPad FaceTime, you can currently find it on the iPhone 4 and the recently released 4th generation iPod Touch. Over the last 2 years of Gadget Show Web TV, we've endeavoured to bring you the latest news and features. And I'll be honest with you, we've had a great time doing it. So to celebrate our 100th episode, I've reminisced with some classic shows to pick my top 5 favourite Web TV moments. First up, at number 5, it's the lovely Otis Dealey doing what he loves, listening to some music. But of course he had to rope in some help to show off.
I think I have found, believe it or not, Spotify's Slayer. I found something called tuberadio.fm, and essentially it's a video jukebox.
Turn off the lights and I'll blow.
So I've put Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice, which is, you know, a classic.
Who got speaker that booms? I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom.
So it's got any video?
Any video that YouTube has.
What about Whitfield?
How's the dance go? Yeah, nice.
In at number 4, it's one of my favourite reviews from Mr. Bentley way back when in episode 2 of Web TV, where he was looking at the Casio Exilim EX F1 camera. With its 60 frames per second photo mode and slow motion video mode, there really was only one way to test it out.
In this demonstration, I'm using it to capture the exact moment when I get hit by a small bucket of water. And there's even more. There's a slow motion video mode too. You can select 300 frames per second, 600 frames per second, and incredibly, 1200 frames per second. Here's the action at 300 frames per second. Here it is at 600 frames per second. And here it is again at 1200 frames per second. So, if you need something to analyse your gymnastics performance or your golf swing, this could be a very astute buy.
At number 3, it's one of my favourite Otis tests from episode 65, and I believe it includes a little bit of freestyling from myself and the man we love to call the O-Dog.
You know how much we love singing here at the Gadget Show, so I was very happy when we found this new bit of software from Microsoft Research. It's called Songsmith. Dion? So what we're going to do is I'm going to pick a random style of music for you, and then you just have to make up a song to sing along with it. Yeah, just make it up. Yeah.
Put your hands up in the air, wave around like you just don't care. Hey Otis, like my song? Why don't you sing along?
I like the lyrics that you choose. They really put me in the mood. This the pop song between us. Why all the fuss? Yeah. Hey, 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 why all the fuss?
At number 2, it's my favourite gadget we've ever featured on Web TV, the Philips 21:9 television. It really impressed John in his review and hit our number 1 spot in our rundown of the top 50 gadgets for Christmas 2009.
And at number 1, it's Philips' gorgeous and revolutionary 21:9 TV. That's the same aspect ratio as most blockbuster films are shot in, so you can watch them without any black bars anywhere on the screen. Sounds a bit of a gimmick, but actually it really isn't. It does make movie watching much more involving. It is rather expensive though, but I think it's worth it.
And with Philips immersive ambilight attached, it really does add to the experience. So Santa, if you've got some room in your sleigh, you know my address. And finally, in at number 1, it is my overall favourite experience on Web TV to date. It is, of course, Gadget Show Live 2010, with over 66,000 of you guys coming to see the live show, 224 exhibitors, and of course, my stand. It really was an amazing feeling to be a major part of it all, and I truly cannot wait until Gadget Show Live 2011. Checked out their 3D TVs here.
I couldn't get the goggles on.
So that's it. We've really enjoyed making the past 100 episodes for you and can't wait to get stuck into the next 100. So to kick it all off, I'm back next week in episode 101 with more news and reviews. And don't forget the main show is still on your screens Monday nights at 8 on Channel 5. And for this week's challenge, the team takes to the road sea and air in our most ambitious road trip yet. Jason and Pollyanna team up against Susie and Otis and go head to head in a race across the country. It's definitely one not to miss, but from me here at Web TV, it's bye for now.